Thanks for joining me here today. Today I decided to think about AI, and what you're going to be seeing today is what I call AI is scary good. You'll see this is about a 10-minute video. I've actually done a Git clone of a repo from GitHub that had the tunneling effect of the demo from Future Crew called Second Reality. If you're familiar with the demo scene from the 90s, it was a really exciting time. Fascinating videos. So I discovered this tunneling effect that had been placed on GitHub. So I went and got the Cursor IDE, which is what you're looking at here. And as you see here, just kind of jumping ahead, there, right, Command L to bring up the chat. That's going to bring up the chat on the right-hand side. I just brought up the terminal there at the bottom, so you can see that as well. And you're going to see on the right, I'm going to say, hey, explain this code. So this is what AI can do these days. It's going to walk through and explain this code, exactly what it's doing. It's really interesting because it's completely accurate in what it's explaining. It's even talking about that this was, classic demo scene style effect. You can see it talks about there. So not only does it know about the code, but it actually knows where the code came from. I'm going to ask it there to compile this code. Hey, how do you compile it? It's trying to compile it and saying, hey, this is old code. You need a DOS box to compile it. You need Borland C, basically all of the old tools to build it. I actually did attempt to do this for demo type code about a year ago. I spent about 24 hours doing that. Failed miserably. It was not successful. You'll see here, what I'm saying there. Compile this code for Mac OS. All right, so it's going to tell me here, make sure you have SDL2 installed. I did install that, so we're good there. And then it's saying, hey, let's modernize the code. So this AI is literally converting the code from the old style, old libraries, old graphics libraries, and it's making all the changes that need to happen to make it a modernized file, modernized tool here. Updating the code. Oh, and back to what I was saying. So anyway, 24 hours spent that time trying to update the code, going through line by line, cleaning it up, trying to make sure the conversion was right, trying to get it running on the Mac. Like I said, failed due to either libraries or includes, just a bunch of dependencies, all kinds of things. Different things were failing. And what you'll see in this 10-minute video is AI was able to get it successful within 10 minutes, which is really impressive. On the right-hand side, you'll see there, scrolling up, you just hit apply. So obviously that's the makefile, so I'm going to scroll up a little bit here to the top, and you can basically say, apply the changes. So apply the changes that the AI has recommended. I accept the file, go off and save the file. And all I've done, right, is just open up the clone, the repo that was cloned. I opened it up in this IDE, opened the DOS tunneling, right, DOS tunnel.c, opened it up, and then immediately went into trying to convert the code and simply asking AI to do that for me. So you'll see here, what's the clang commands to compile this code. So AI is going to go off and provide that line. Yeah, and you can quite literally type in that line right in the terminal. You can copy it in, but in this case, I'm like, oh, the tool's nicely integrated. You can simply hit run, and it will run it. So I've run this a few times. First time took me about an hour. Second time, which is this time that you're looking at here, 10 minutes. So the efficiency and productivity once you've gotten to use this is pretty impressive. You can see there, right? There was an error building. So quite literally, you just copy that line, give it to the AI in the chat on the right-hand side. Just provide it there. And then it smartly will say, it's likely due to a formatting issue. That's going to try to attempt to clean up the code here. Again, what you can see here is AI. It's really impressive, the changes that it's making. All just figuring out the dependencies, what needs to happen behind the scenes, what a typical developer or software engineer goes off and basically does a bunch of Googling. There you see apply those changes, goes off and tries to figure it out. Here, just saving the file. So that's all that's happening there. Just save the file. Let's go ahead and run the command again. Same error again. Feed that back to the AI. And this time, the AI is going to be smart enough. Right? And then again, this is the cursor IDE. It's going to be smart enough to figure it out this time. So the first time I went through this, I was fairly methodical in going through and looking at what the updates were, applying the changes each one by one, trying to understand the updates that were happening. This time around, I decided, let me see how quickly I can just, via what they now call prompt engineering, give it the right prompts to get to the solution, and attempt to not interfere too much with what it's doing. The first time I obviously was trying to learn it, figure it out, seeing what it was doing, understanding it. And it's really neat. In many cases, it's actually improving the code, making it more efficient, using pound defines for common numberings. It does that. Okay, now that it's gone through that, go ahead and run the command again. Successful. So now it's going to be the first attempt to try to run it. You can literally just type, /DOS tunnel to run it. But again, this time around, I decided go ahead and let the AI do it. So I'm just going to click up there and say run. And we'll see what happens in the first attempt. And you notice there's been massive changes to the code. It's now using the SDL, for those that are familiar with SDL. Segmentation fault. I actually did not get that segmentation fault the first time around. First time around it was successful. After the hour of methodical updating and ran it, was completely successful. This time it's segmentation fault. So again, instead of looking it up yourself, which is one of the things I was spending time on the first time around, which is why it took an hour, I was off kind of debugging it on my own. This time I decided just feed it back in. Give it to the chat box. Let it figure out what the mistake was. And they're talking about, segmentation fault likely, and it scrolled up. You can scroll up or down, backtrack, even save off the log so you can see everything that happened. But now that it's made those updates, go ahead and apply. And again, you can actually accept each of the changes here, accept or reject them. That's how I accepted it explicitly. Go off and save the file. And then let's go ahead and run again. So this time, just to show you the terminal, right? Go ahead and build it. Run it. And again, this is a tunneling effect from Future Crew in the early 90s. And look at that, running natively on the Mac. So AI is, in my mind, after seeing this, AI is scary good. What would have taken a developer for sure more than 10 minutes, I'll go out on a limb and say any developer just trying to do this port from the old 90s style code, updating it would have taken longer. So really impressive. This channel is called The Thinking Cosmos. Each time, basically, what am I thinking about that day? What are interesting things? Doesn't need to be about the cosmos, could be about anything. Today was AI. Hope you were as impressed as I was during with this use of AI. If you've seen something interesting or any type of interest in AI, leave a comment down below. I'm sure the community is interested in that, and it'll be interesting topics. Thanks, and see you next time.